Hello children, so today I'm here for your Act 4 Scene 1 explanation, which is actually one of the most important scenes, and it is not possible that there are 90% chances, in fact more, that this scene, a question paper is made and this scene is not covered. That's quite a rarity, I would say. So yeah, every person's dialogue is important in the scene. So what you have to do is listen carefully. I'm going to do a line by line explanation like I used to do in the class. Okay, so actually this video is for the children of RLB whom I had to leave, and yeah, I can't let my business be unfinished, so that's why I'm here to continue that, and I hope you all and others also are helped by it. Okay, so let's start. First of all, like mostly other scenes which are set in either the street of Venice or Belmont, this scene particularly is in the courtroom of Venice. Okay, courtroom of Venice. And who are present here? There are the Duke, the Magnificos. Now Magnificos means noblemen. Noblemen means people of high rank. Okay, so there is the Duke, the other noblemen, Antonio, obviously the person, the protagonist, the title character, we should say, the merchant of Venice. Okay, so he's the merchant. I am starting with the understanding that I have taught you, okay, till Act 3. So yeah, others who are watching, I'm sorry, but I'll have to start with that note. So I'm not going to the backstory that and who's Antonio and what is the scenario right now. If you are in Act 4, definitely you are well aware about the whole scenario going on in the drama. Okay, and there is obviously Bassanio, the best of friend, the bosom friend of Antonio, bosom we call it. Okay, and Graciano, Celerio, and others are there. Okay, and you know, in this scene, whenever you see the pictures of Shylock in the courtroom, you will see when he enters, he has entered with the copy of the bond, a knife, you know for what? To take the pound of flesh from Antonio's body, from wherever he pleaseth. Okay, now, and one more thing, that is weighing that balance. Okay, so to measure exactly 1 pound. Now let's start, let's go right in. That is the first dialogue, and the Duke says, what is Antonio here? So Antonio is called for, the Duke asks for Antonio. Okay, so he's asking if Antonio is present there in the court, to which Antonio readily replies, ready, so please your grace. Okay, so you have to just go into that aura that we are in a court and the Duke has given the first dialogue and he has asked for the presence of Antonio. And Antonio, he says that I am here and ready and as you please, I'm in front of you, just on your mercy. So Duke says, see the tone which is set by William Shakespeare of this scene. He says, I am sorry for thee. So the Duke is already, we can understand and comprehend that he is already on the side of Antonio. He is on Antonio's side, whereas he should not have shown any biasness, but here he is quite evidently showing that he is on Antonio's side, and he says further that I am sorry for thee, means I'm sorry for you. He is feeling sorry for Antonio, and says, thou art come to answer a stony adversary. Very important phrase which you have to, for exam purposes, use in your answers. Because I've always said, my dear children, that if you use the original text, it will enhance your answers and it will definitely get you more marks. Okay, so he says, thou art come to answer a stony adversary. Means you are here, Antonio, in front of a person, on the mercy of the person who is a stony adversary. Stony means hard as rock. And here there is a comparison, we can say a metaphor for Shylock, comparing him to a stone and his heart to a stone, as if that he is as stubborn, as heartless, as cold as, or you can say emotionless, like a stone, okay, as a rock. So he is saying, you have come to answer a stony adversary. Now one more adjective for him, that is an inhuman wretch. An inhuman wretch that is incapable of pity, void and empty from any dram of mercy, even an ounce of mercy. He is totally devoid of the feeling of mercy. So inhuman, you know, that is not at all human, inhumane behavior. Okay, so he is inhuman wretch, a brat, a person who is not capable of even an ounce of mercy, which is in sync with the first thing that is said, that is a stony adversary. Okay, incapable. Now see here, William Shakespeare uses words, what we can say, like he takes the license, poetic license, okay, to otherwise what we would have said incapable, sorry, and he has used incapable. So writers, poets tend to have this poetic license and take liberty of using their own words, okay, creating their words. Now here he says incapable of pity, void, empty from any dram of mercy. So he is completely empty of even a single drop of mercy in him. Moving on, Antonio replies to this, I have heard your grace hath taken great pains to qualify his. You please keep your books in front of you, have a copy in which you can make notes, because I don't have that set up till now in which I can add that PDF and you can see it. So it's just for this situation that I have to make this video. Okay, so please keep a book in front of you. So your grace hath taken great pains to qualify his rigorous course, meaning he's saying that I know, he's talking to the Duke, that I know you have taken great pains, means you have tried your hardest, you have done everything in your capacity which you can do to change his rigorous course, as in his mind, to persuade him, to manipulate him in not taking his revenge, the forfeiture of his bond. He further says, Antonio further says that, but since he stands obdurate, means since he remains stubborn and there is nothing we all can do, and that no lawful means can carry me out of his envious reach, and there is no scope, no chance of me coming out of his claws, means he has accepted. Antonio, we say that he is the protagonist, he is the title character, but he is not the hero, because he lacks the qualities of a hero. He is what? I know my children would reply, he is an anti-hero. Okay? Who is the protagonist but lack the qualities of a hero. Okay. That courage, all those so-called qualities of a hero. Okay. Now, he says that there no lawful means can carry me out of his envy's reach. I do oppose my patience to his fury. Now he's saying that I know nothing legally can be done, because it was Antonio in all his sense, he signed that bond, his death bond, what we can say, in which it was clearly mentioned that if he is unable, and if he forfeitures the bond, he is unable to pay back the 3,000 ducats, Shylock is this thing, that he is not wrong in taking. He is rightfully, he has the right, yeah, to take his pound of flesh from anywhere of his body, and it is said that he said it near his heart. Okay, and he says, and he's, he's surrendered. He has given up, he has surrendered, and he said that I will meet his anger, that he says that I do oppose my patience to his fury, and am armed to suffer with a quietness of spirit. Please use this phrase, quietness of spirit. He says that I'm ready to suffer his tyranny, I'm ready to suffer with whatever he has to do with me, whatever he has to do, I'm surrendering. With his rage, very, very quietly. With quietness of spirit means very quietly, peacefully, calmly, I'm going to give up my life. To which the Duke says, go on and call the Jew into the court. Now see the difference in calling for Antonio, calling him by his name, and calling Shylock by the name of his religion, that is Jew. Call the Jew into the court. So he is not giving him even that much respect to even call him by his name. So he's saying that call the Jew. So he's not even taking his name, which is also a proof that he was not liked. And this is a proof of what William Shakespeare wanted. This theme is also there, that is, I told you, anti-Semitism, isn't it? Hatred towards Jews. Okay, that is also told. Now it is up to the readers whether William Shakespeare was, through this play, means he was promoting anti-Semitism or he was against anti-Semitism. That is up to the readers to comprehend and understand, evaluate with their perspective. So he says, go one and call the Jew into the court. Means one of the men over there, they should go and ask the Jew to come into the court. To which Salerio says, he is ready at the door. He comes, my lord. So I told you, when he comes, he is ready, waiting outside the door, and here he comes, my lord. Salerio says this, and you should have a picture. If it was an unabridged version, you would know that he has entered in pictures also. I will send you in group. That is, he comes in with the copy of the bond, with a knife and a scale. Okay, enters Shylock. Now see the Duke's dialogue, very, very important. Make room and let him stand before our face. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too. Now he is referred to him. Otherwise, mostly you will see that he is going to call him the Jew. Okay, in second person. In third person. Okay, now he's saying, make room and let him stand before our face. Means get him space so that he can stand right in front of me. Shylock, the world thinks, I think so too, that thou but leadest this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of act, and then it is thought thou will show thy mercy and remorse more strange than it is thy strange apparent cruelty. So he's saying that, Shylock, everyone here thinks, including me, and I agree, that you are just putting up a show. And we all think that by the end, when it is the time to take that pound of flesh, to cut Antonio's body and to take that flesh, you are going to show mercy. So that is the twist you are going to bring. So what is, reading between lines. So you should understand what is the Duke trying to do. He's trying a last attempt on manipulating Shylock. But we know Shylock by now, till act this 4, we know Shylock that he is totally impenetrable. You cannot penetrate and change or persuade him. He might persuade us, but we cannot. Okay. So it's great that Duke is still trying, and he's saying that we all think that you will at the last hour of act, you are going to show mercy and remorse. Okay, regret. And Shylock will be offended by this dialogue. You'll see that why is he going to show regret and mercy. Okay. And where thou now exacts the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh. So poor, he's showing sympathy for him because he has also suffered with the loss of his ships, multiple ships, and he is totally gone bankrupt. Okay, thou will not only lose the forfeiture. So what is he trying to insinuate? That you, Shylock, are not only going to let go of the forfeiture, that is taking the bond, but touched with human gentleness and love, forgive a moiety of the principal. Means you will not only not have the pound of flesh, that is the forfeiture, but also you will not means you will not also take the penalty, means some extra amount with interest you will not take. Okay, so you will have that gentleness and love, you will be touched with gentleness and love, and you will forgive a moiety of the principal, glancing an eye on the pity of his losses. No, he's saying that you will not only, first of all, not only not take the forfeiture, you will also not have any extra charges taken by you as interest, not by pound of flesh, so interest. And also he says that you will also not take the whole 3,000 ducats which you have given, that also you will not take. Why? Because glancing an eye of pity on his losses, because he has suffered a great loss, that is the wreckage of his ships at the Goodwins, okay, English Channel, you will show mercy. And to press a royal merchant down and pluck commiseration of his state from brassy bosoms and rough hearts of flint. I don't know if this is there in your book. I think so, it will be. Rough hearts of flint from stubborn Turks. Yes, this is there. From stubborn Turks and Tatars, never trained to offices of tender courtesy. So see here what he's trying to say, that you will that recently have come to weigh upon Antonio, which were enough to ruin a royal merchant, enough to make even the stone-hearted person from brassy bosoms and rough hearts of flint. Means his condition is such that it will melt even the coldest hearts. Okay, and even the stubborn Turks and Tatars who aren't used to show any courtesy, means Turks and Tatars, please see in your book also the meanings. That is, they are known not to show, they are heartless. Turks and Tatars, they are heartless. So who aren't used to showing any courtesy, they will also pity him. Even the Turks and Tatars will pity him, who are known for being merciless. Okay, we all expect a gentle answer, Jew. We all expect a gentle answer. So this was his persuasion dialogue, very important. I hope it is clear. Please go through it once more with your workbook also, and the meanings of different words if I'm not able to touch it. Okay. To which Shylock says, now very important, I will not make a very long video, so let's quickly finish Shylock's dialogue. That is, I have possessed your grace of what I purpose, and by our holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. So he's saying that I have told you what my intention is. I have possessed your grace what I purpose. Means I have told you clearly what my intention is, and he has really told it right the time he has signed. He knew that okay, this is going to be the consequence, but still he signed in all of his senses. So he says that I have told you from the very starting, Duke, that what my intentions are, what I purpose on doing, and I have taken a sworn I have taken an oath. I have sworn by the holy Sabbath. Please also see the meaning of this. Now holy Sabbath, what I'll tell you, is the day of the Jews where they take rest. Okay, and like there are holy books, there is holy Sabbath for Jews. Okay, Bible, Ramayana, Quran. So here he has sworn by the holy Sabbath, that is to take what is owned to him by the legal act, legal contract. Nothing illegal he is doing. So by the legal act, whatever I have to take, I have sworn by my religion, by the holy day of the Jews, Sabbath, and I'm going to take my bond. So you'll ask me, sorry, if you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter. Okay, so charter means the law, that whole constitution. If you deny, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. Because Venice was known as the hub of what is it? Export and import, this thing, merchants, yeah. So all of that will be in danger. If you deny me the law, if there is no law, no one is going to have business with Venice. No merchant is going to come to Venice, and their whole this thing economy depends on this. Okay. And if you do not give me my what is rightfully mine, the whole charter, the whole law of Venice will be in danger. You will ask me why I rather choose to have a way of carrion flesh than to receive 3,000 ducats. Now you are going to ask me why I should have, why I am intending and inclined on taking that pound of flesh rather than taking 3,000 ducats. I'll not answer that. I am not answerable to you. I'm not going to answer that. If you ask me why am I taking a pound of flesh rather than taking 3,000 ducats, which is more useful, obviously, what he's going to do with human flesh, he's not a cannibal. Okay, so he's saying I'm not answerable. I'm not going to answer that. He was so straightforward. I loved his, what we can say, his gut. Yeah, his boldness. Although I'm not inspiring you to be like Shylock, but yeah, personally this character trait that he is so unabashedly himself is something we should be, but in a right manner, not like him. We should be very, very merciful. Okay, so he says that I'll not answer that. But say it is my humor, it is answered. So he says that I'm not going to answer that. I won't give you answer, and there is no reason to it. There is no reason why I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer means I don't want to answer. And then that is my answer to you. That I don't want to answer is my answer to you. So he says, what if my house be troubled with a rat? So see his first example. Please underline this number one example. What he says to justify his point of taking the pound of flesh. He says, what if my house be troubled with a rat, and I be pleased to give 10,000 ducats to have it banned. What are you answered yet? Some men there are love not a gaping pig. Some men there are mad if they behold a cat. Okay, if I ask you what do you love the most, which food, which cuisine do you love? Some might say Indian, Chinese, Italian, whatever. If I ask you why do you like Chinese? Really, if I like Chinese, I don't have any answer why I like it. I just like it. And yeah, there is no specific reason to that. So he is saying that if my house was troubled by a rat, if there was a rat in my house, and I felt like paying 10,000 ducats to have it removed from the pest control, that is my answer. I want to, so I am doing it. And some men dislike pigs, okay, gaping pigs, and some that are mad if they behold a cat. So others go crazy if they see a cat. They don't like cats. Some don't like pigs. Some don't like cats. And some others, when the bagpipe sings, either nose cannot contain their urine. Okay, I don't know if it is there or not. For affection, mistress of passion, sways it to the mood of what it likes or loathes. So he says that just like some men dislike pigs, some go crazy at the sight of a cat, and others can't help but urinate when they hear the bagpipes. They can't help but urinate. So people like and dislike things, and they are fickle, and it depends on person's mood. There is no reason to that, no solidity to that why is that thing so. why you like things, why you don't like things. You just do or don't. So it is just the mistress of passion. It is onto the mood. So he says, now from your answer, as there is no firm reason to be rendered why he cannot abide a gaping pig, why he a harmless necessary cat, why he a woolen bagpipe, but of force must yield to such inevitable shame as to offend himself being offended. So he's saying that's why there is no real reason. So I can give no reason and won't give one. I don't want to and I won't give. So it is just that he says that I just don't like Antonio. I hate him. I loathe him. I totally dislike him. I can't stand the sight of Antonio. That's why I'm doing it. And it is through our agreement. And is that an answer enough for you? So he again asks, now are you answered? Have I given you my answer? So Bassanio says, there is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty. So he says, there is no sufficient answer of your cruelty, of your severity of your action. There is no answer to that. You can never answer what you are doing. So he says, Shylock is so blunt. He says, I'm not bound to please thee with my answers. So he says, I'm not bound to please you with my answers. I'm not answering to please you. So Bassanio says, do all men kill the things they do not love? So Bassanio also gives a argument to that, counter, that so if you don't like something, are you going to kill that? So Shylock to this says, hates any man the thing he would not kill. So he says, wouldn't everyone like to kill the things they hate? And he gives a very good example. See further. He says that every offense is not a hate at first. Every offense, that is not every act of wrongdoing, must lead to hate. If someone has done anything wrong to you, it should not lead to you hating that person. You should not hate that person, because hate is a really great, strong emotion. So Shylock says, why wouldn't thou have a serpent sting thee twice? So he's saying, are you going to let a snake sting you twice? So see the beauty of his reply and William Shakespeare's writing. Such a strong villain he is. Okay, so he says, so are you going to so you're not going to hate it and you're not willing to kill it. So are you going to let a snake sting you twice? So to this, Antonio enters the conversation and he says to Bassanio, I pray you, think your question with the Jew. Means he's saying that, are you trying to reason with the Jew? Are you trying to have a reasonable conversation with a Jew, with this Shylock? You may as well go stand now. Very important beta, please, very, very important. I think this is going to be my last dialogue for today. That is, please mark in points. Number one, he says, Antonio says to Bassanio, are you going to have a reasonable conversation with a Jew? So he says, you may go as well go stand upon the beach. And there was a question asked in the previous exams on this, that is, which one is not what Antonio compared him to. Okay, so first he says, you may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood bait his usual height. So you can go and stand on the beach and even ask the water, the tides not to be too high, and they might listen to you. Second, so please remember, first is you may go on the beach and ask the flood as in tides, to not be so high. So they might listen to you. You may as well, now second, you may as well question with the wolf. Remember the animals, they might change the animals in the MCQ, 1 mark will be lost. So you may as well use question with the wolf why he had made the ewe bleached for the lamb. So you might as well ask the wolf why he makes the this animal ewe, that is the deer, bleat for the lamb. That is, cry by eating the lamb. Why are you making please clear this animal. The deer cry for its lamb. You might ask the wolf, and the wolf might feel bad. Okay, I have done something bad. I've eaten this thing, lamb I've eaten. So he might even have that mercy that okay, I have done something wrong. You might question, why have you made him cry by eating his lamb? So he might even feel bad, remorseful, regret, but not Shylock. So tides, then wolf. Okay, you may as well forbid the mountain pines to wag their high tops and to make no noise when they are threatened with the guts of heaven. And you third thing, very important, third and last, that is you may go at the top of the mountain and you may ask the pines on the mountains, pine trees, okay, on the mountains from swaying. You may ask them to stop swaying with the gust of heaven, that is the winds coming, obviously they come from heaven. We think God is doing that, so heaven. So you might even go and forbid, you may ask them to stop, whom? The pine trees, to stop from swaying their high tops because of the gusts of wind, and you may ask them not to make any noise with their leaves. So you may as well do anything most hard, that is most impossible, you may do that. But as seek to soften that is you may as well do anything most hard as seek to soften that, than which what's harder? His Jewish heart. So he's saying that you can do anything impossible, but if you try to soften the Jewish heart, it is an impossible deed. So this thing is very important. Therefore, I do beseech you, that's why I ask you, I request you, make no more efforts, because he has already given up. He's asking Bassanio also that do not waste your time. I request you not to use no further means, but with all brief and plain conveniency, let me have the judgment and the Jew his will. So he has given up. He is saying that instead of arguing with this inhuman wretch, a stony adversary, you should just let the judgment be passed and let the Jew have the will without any further delay. Okay, I'll stop this video here and we'll continue it in the next video. Okay, thank you. And if you have any problem, please ask me in the group.